Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome you today. I'm going to be making focaccia bread. They believe it's been around before the Roman Empire and considered to be Italian bread. I'd like you to accompany me into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make this very tasty bread. It's not too hard to make, and so we'll start today. Okay, first of all, I have my bowl. And in my bowl I will put my sugar, which is going to help with the fermentation of the yeast. I've got my water here. I've got approximately 1.5 cups of water, which I'm going to put into the 2 teaspoons of sugar. I will stir that around to dissolve the sugar in the water. And then I'm going to put in 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. Now this water is at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It helps to ferment the yeast, to bring it into its activity. And I'm going to sprinkle the yeast on top, and then I will stir it in to help it along. And then I'm going to put it aside for 10 minutes. And so I'll be back in 10 minutes. Hi everyone, I'm back after 10 minutes. As you've noticed, I've covered the bowl with the water, the sugar and the yeast with this tea towel, and the tea towel is damp, and so that helps the process. And so you'll see with the yeast now it's been activated. It's all bubbling on top, frothy, so it's ready for the next step. Now here I'll put in my normal flour. It's all-purpose flour, and it consists, I'll put my salt in. I always mix my salt in with my flour. And so with the salt, they say that it will deactivate the yeast if you put it straight into the yeast mixture. So I mix it in with the flour. So I've got 3.5 cups of flour here and a teaspoon of salt. And so I'll put that into my yeast mixture. That's been activated. Put that in. And then I've also got 1/4 cup of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And so I'll put that in as well. And so I'll put my things aside there. So I'm mixing it all into the activated yeast. So this is a wetter mix than some might use, but I find it makes a lovely focaccia bread. So mixing all the oil and the flour into the activated yeast mixture, mixing it round. Then I'm going to tip it out onto the board. I've got my mat on a damp towel, which stops it from sliding around on the board. So what I'm going to do is I'll move that. I'll put a bit of flour on my board. I'll tip out the mixture of dough onto the board. Put that aside, put a little bit of flour onto my hands, and I will also use the spatula to help me to knead the dough. And I'll knead the dough until I get it to the right consistency. That side. notice the dough is wet, is sticky. And I'm not putting too much flour on my board because I don't want to add flour to my mixture too much. And I'm going to sprinkle some flour into my bowl. Then I'll let this double in size in the bowl for about 50 minutes. I'm going to go and cover that with a damp cloth. Set it aside 50 minutes and then we'll be back. Hi, I'm back after 50 minutes. I'm going to lift the tea towel on my dough and it's proofed nicely. What I'm going to do is turn it out onto the board, a lightly floured board, and just knead it and shape it. I've prepared my focaccia dish. It's a stone dish. I'm going to place the dough in there, in its shape, push it out, and then we'll take it from there. So right now, I'm going to put a bit of flour onto my board. This is proofed nicely. I'm going to take this out, take my dough out, give it a little bit of a knead, and then shape it, put it on my focaccia stone, and then we will dress it with olive oil and olives. And so this is just reshaping it, just getting it pliable again, a little bit of kneading, turn it over, straighten my board, here we go, shape it and push it down, push it into the shape that I want it. So turn it around a little bit, then I'm going to put it onto my tray, my stone, my focaccia stone, and continue to push it out. Then I will cover it and stand it for another 10 minutes. Once I've dressed it all, put everything on it that I like on it. On your focaccia, you don't have to put the olives. You can put rosemary, you can crush some garlic and put on top. You can put any herbs that you like on top of your focaccia bread. I choose the olives because my husband and I really enjoy them. At one stage I put the olives and crushed garlic, and you see with the crushed garlic it toasts nicely in the oven. Now I'm going to bring forward my stone dish. I'm going to bring over my dough and place on my dish. Then I will just continue shaping it. I shape it out into the dish. It just fits nicely. It goes to the right thickness that I want it to be, and it will proof. It will rise again in my stone bread making tray. So some people use their fingers to make the holes in the bread, but with me I've got my trusty little helper here where I don't have to do that, and I can just, all I'm going to do is poke some holes in all around, gives it the pattern. Instead of using my fingers, I use my spatula. Then I bring over my olives and I put my olives on top. Anywhere I want them, on top of the bread. As I said, you can use anything you like on top. Your herbs, your garlic, anything you like that you enjoy eating. As I said, my husband and I, we like the olives. And so what I might do, now I've done that, is I will push a few in, just to make sure. This is just my added touch to it, to my bread. It helps it to stay in place. As I said, this gives it the added touch. Then, after that, what I'm going to do is I will put some olive oil on. Olive oil brings taste, it brings the colour. I love olive oil. You can put as much or as little olive oil on as you want, but we like olive oil. And then I will leave that to stand for 10 minutes and then pop it in the oven. I'll see you in 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes now. The dough has proofed the final time. I'm going to put it in the oven. I'll put it in on the middle shelf for about 30 minutes. Depending on the temperature of your oven, how fast your oven cooks, the heat of it, you'll have to watch your bread to watch the colour of it, and cooking it a few times you'll understand whether it's longer or shorter. But for this one, it'll be about 30 minutes. Thank you. I'll see you in 30 minutes. Hi ladies, this is the finished product, the focaccia bread, about to take it out of the oven. And that is what you will have at the end of your labours. To finish it off, we'll put a drizzle of olive oil over the top of that to complete it. Fresh focaccia bread out of the oven. And this is what you will enjoy. Very tasty. Olive oil is very good for you. What I'll do is to show you. There's the crust underneath. You can hear it. A very crunchy crust, and you'll hear the sound when I put the knife through it. You usually wouldn't cut it straight after you've taken it out of the oven, but to show you exactly what it is, I'm going to cut it. You can hear the crustiness, the crunch. The sound of fresh bread. So what I'm going to do is cut it in a corner. freshness of the focaccia. And what I'll do from here, just so we can try it, as you can see, it is really fresh. The olives on top and the olive oil just make it just a lovely bread. It's a light bread and it is very tasty. It's too hot for me to eat right now, but there we have it, the focaccia bread. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in as I do some more cooking. Thank you, bye.